In recent years, the number of interesting, badass, complex, unique, and all-around awesome female protagonists in video games has exploded. Bayonetta, Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, Commander Shepard from Mass Effect, Chloe Frazer from Uncharted, and Lara Croft from Tomb Raider are just some examples. But things weren't always this way. The early days of gaming was essentially a Wild West. It was Pong and Atari 2600 and ColecoVision. Games didn't boast cinematic stories or even general action heroes. And when they started to, the main characters were always male. That all changed in the late 80s with the introduction of games that placed women in the spotlight front and center. These games assigned women roles that were more than just window dressing, allowing them agency, even villainy, that cracked open the door to female characters taking a larger role in gaming. The biggest shift occurred in 1986, when the world was introduced to the NES game Metroid and its protagonist, Samus Aran. While technically Samus Aran wasn't the very first fleshed-out woman in the history of gaming, there were other characters like Time Gal's Reika Kirishima. She was one of the most prominent, and one of the most popular, and one of the most effective for creating change. Here's why. For the entire game, Samus is covered in the power suit, which covers her whole body. Players assumed underneath the armor that Samus was a dude. Why wouldn't you? Women just weren't the leads of video games. However, if you completed the game in less than an hour, you get a special scene where Samus would remove the power suit and be revealed as a woman. In that moment, video game gender norms were thrown on their head. Gamers with the most traditional thoughts of gender roles just had their point of view appended. They just spent an entire game kicking ass as a girl. From there, Samus's popularity and place in Nintendo's stable of familiar characters exploded as additional Metroid titles were added to the mythos, and the characters' adventures continued.
It is I, the Princess of Hyrule, Zelda.
Listen, Princess Zelda can't be discounted in terms of her importance. Not only as part of the Nintendo universe, but in pop culture and gaming as a whole. Initially introduced in 1986's The Legend of Zelda, the uninitiated would think she was just a damsel in distress. Anything but. Whether she's working alongside Link or staving off evil forces by her lonesome for hundreds of years, Zelda actively went against gender norms in games. Also, hello, the whole damn franchise is named after her. For all the bluster about how Nintendo actually houses damsel characters like Princess Peach, it's important to recognize how important the company's contributions were to the female characters as active characters and not just somebody's girlfriend. Case in point, Princess Peach was a playable character in Super Mario Bros. 2, the Valkyrie from Gauntlet. Even Linda from Double Dragon. Sure, she was a villain and could kick the shit out of you, but the last part of that statement is the most important. She was a villain, and she could kick the shit out of you. Which early video game ladies did we miss? Let us know in the comments below.